minimize distractions. And
Kid,
so
you
we
don't
held that
even
up and
know the
discussed
code
amongst
word. It
ourselves
was
as a team that that seems to be a contradiction in
banana
terms.
green
But
mushroom
what we
little boy
actually know from
cha-cha.
studying the research and really looking at this is that it really is about the element of choice.
Okay, whatever. Now we
What we're
know.
seeing right now is that when
Oh
employees
my
have that
god,
choice
stop leaving
taken
the
away
call,
from them,
David.
this is what becomes the derailer. This is the significant headwind to motivation that
Dude,
we're
I am
experiencing.
so bad at
Conversely,
TOA.
when an employee can choose to work
Ta,
remotely,
ta,
you might see
ta,
upticks in
ta,
motivation.
ta,
You may
ta,
actually
ta,
see
ta, ta,
productivity
ta,
increase.
ta, ta,
And it's certainly
ta.
true that the role that you have
Bro, you
within a
have to
company and
lick
the
my
nature of your
tongue.
work can
Shut
meaningfully
up.
impact your
Shut up.
motivation. And so, there's real data that supports that. Lindsay McGregor and Neil Doshi in their book Prime to
Best
Perform saw
workout
as much as a
2020 I've ever
17%
done.
decrease in motivation when that element of choice
It's
was taken
just a
away. And so
fact.
we have to really balance what
So
we're
I did was I
experiencing
jumped
with
down the
what the
tower.
data and the insights and the research tell
The
us,
You are
tower.
but also
actually
with just some
dumb.
practical advice that's
And
highly
no.
situational, but
So
still
next I
relevant
jumped
in multiple
down
different
from
contexts, but
yellow
particularly in
stage,
today's
right?
context.
Like the
As
higher
managers, there are things that we can do
high
that will
yellow
change the
stage,
way that our people are experiencing
not
this
the high
environment and their
yellow
working
stage, but
environment.
the
And
medium
Carrie
one.
Ann, I
And
would love
then I
for
taught
Guys,
us
you
to
can
myself.
take
put this
your
at part
findings on
one,
and your
part one,
advice.
and then
But
we'll
maybe
start part
first,
two
this is
tomorrow.
something we talk about every day, but not everyone talks motivation day to day. So maybe we can
Gotta
just
go
go
still,
through back
right?
to basics. So how do
This
we
is
as
so
Goldman Sachs
risky.
think about and define motivation?
This
And we'll
is so
start from there.
risky.
The way to
Math
think
one.
about
And then
If you
motivating your
want, you
team
can
is to start
attach
with
your
what
YouTube to your
intrinsically
profile.
motivates individuals. And there's insights that we know to be
Bad
true
talk.
about the
Stop
4 levers, as
concentrating.
we call it, that drive motivation. The
enhance
first
the
one to
most
think about is this
doing
Is
concept
he
of
in the
mastery.
call?
And this
Yes.
is to what extent does your day-to-day job
Kyle.
provide you an opportunity to grow and develop your skills? So what I'm doing each and every day, I feel that I'm actually moving forward with my development.
Okay.
The next lever to think
Kyle,
about
after
is
I'll
the
teach
sense
you
of
how
social
to attach
connection.
it.
This is
And
really
we don't
about the
know.
respect and the trust that you
Oh
have for
my
the
god,
people that
I'm
you
about to
work
beat
with.
this tower.
Sometimes you'll hear people say, I spend more time with my colleagues than I do with my
Hopefully
family.
someone
And when you feel that sense of
this
social
thing.
connection, that really helps drive your motivation, and people seek
Get some
that.
help.
The third lever to consider is what we
But I
call a
never
sense of
be a
purpose.
protest.
And that purpose word is pretty big, right? But to just boil it down, what it means is the value you think
Kyle,
that
at
your
this
job
point, are you
plays
even
in terms of
trying?
the impact that it drives. And that impact is
Or
usually
are
on
you
a
just
grander scale than
Or are you
perhaps your
just
day-to-day lived experience. You usually feel that it's at the organizational
okay?
level,
Just stop
better
chatting.
yet, at the
Focus
societal
now.
level. But you really believe fundamentally that what you're doing is making something better that is bigger than you.
Your halo
And then the
round.
final is a sense of autonomy. And this is about the way in which you do your work, you have control over. I can dictate, how I approach something, designing a program, as in my experience or in my
Why
role,
does
or if you're
extra
a
time cost
trader,
so
you have a
little?
little bit more agency around the risk that you're going to take and how you're going to
What?
manage your book. And so
50.
all of these things together can work quite lovely in terms of driving motivation,
Or even
or
more.
one at a time,
Because it's
depending on the
annoying if
situation,
you
depending on the individual.
want to pass a
And so when we
tower
talk
already.
about this with managers, we first
And
help
they
them
just
to
keep
understand what are
buying it.
those levers, 2, which ones matter to their employee, and
No, like,
3, and we'll
if
get
there's
into
a
this a
tower
little
that's
bit later
really
on,
hard and
which
you
are
can't
matters.
beat it.
And when you put all of that together, you really have a really nice recipe to think through, okay, well, how do I manage that particular person in this particular environment? And so level setting that understanding around mastery, social connection, purpose, and autonomy as the 4 main drivers for motivation is the first step.
Yeah, I think that's a really great foundation in the way that we're actually thinking about motivation. As you said, that's intrinsic motivation, which I think for many of us in the field is the gold standard. That's the thing that's most sustainable, that really keeps people feeling focused and engaged and motivated at work.
They made the...
And for many people, when we talk about those 4 things, the thing that strikes them is, well, they're all interrelated. They're all overlapping. How can you separate them out? And I think that's very true. For the purposes of this conversation that we're having, actually, for each of those 4 things, I think there are specific ways in which the environment we're in right now sort of degrades the motivation people feel in that particular pillar. So keeping them separate is a great sort of organizing principle for us as we think about how we as managers can take action with our people. And so with that in mind, Carrie Ann, do you want to just talk us through where the threats are, let's say, to the motivation that people feel along those 4 things? Maybe we can just split them up 2 and 2, starting with connection and mastery.
So when you think about the sense of mastery, what we find is that the biggest threat is career anxiety. Now, anxiety on a good day unmanaged can be incredibly overwhelming and can be a significant derailer. When it comes to career anxiety, what you're looking for to see if this is a threat someone is experiencing is this sense that they have that they're stalling, they're treading water, they don't know what the future holds. They have uncertainty around whether or not what they're doing right now is going to get them to what they want to do tomorrow. When we think about social connection, the real threat there is a loss of connectivity. We're social beings. We spend a lot of time, and you may have read some research from psychologists talking about what the pandemic will do 2-3 years from now in terms of people's mental health, and it's something that we take very seriously at our firm. But for some people, when it comes to work, they really enjoy the camaraderie and the team spirit and their tacit understanding of what others are doing around them that's contributing to the work that they're doing. I'll even overlay for some people who are incredible extroverts, they get energy from people.
There's sort of another element, I think, to the social connection piece, which is that teams just innately have these connections between them, these flows of information that we don't even know are happening until they're cut off.
No, it's
and so for many people, they're finding when they're separated from their teams, they're just not as efficient. A question that they would have overheard the answer to, they no longer have. A phone call
I just need 4 more levels and I can get double time.
And so for many, it's also that feeling of not being as effective, not being as efficient in your work that can make you feel demotivated or less focused. Can you talk us through the next teams of purpose and autonomy?
And so the threat to purpose is really a loss of meaning. We all have a delicate balance in our professional and personal lives. And the work that we do, for the most part, is important. We all strive to have that deep sense of meaning in what we get up every day to contribute our skills and talents to. And so when your sense of purpose is threatened,